first of all, we use scale to compare different sizes. Okay? What are the two things that we're comparing? Jake?
Real world and map.
Real world and map. Okay, so one number is going to correlate with your map, so usually it's going to be centimeters, inches, maybe a foot, depending on what the map is. And the other number is going to correlate with the real world. So, there are a couple different ways that we can write them. The first way is going to be with a colon. Okay? So if we are looking, let's say we're looking at our playground compared to the map you made. How big is your map, roughly?
1 foot by
Okay, so we'll say 12 inches. Okay? You would put that colon in the middle, and then how big do you think the playground is? Roughly. Take a stab at it. Yeah. 100 feet. So then on your other side, it's going to say 100 feet. You don't necessarily have to have the inches and feet, but then you'd have to write that in your scale. So for example, on here it says the scale is 1 of something equals 100,000. Looking at this, we know it's kilometers. So 1 kilometer is going to equal 100,000 kilometers. If we go back, our scale is 1 of something equals 24,000. And we're going to look at feet. We've got miles, feet, now it's kilometer, but it's going to correlate with feet. On this one, our scale is 1 equals 2 million, and we're looking at kilometers. Does everyone see how even if you don't write the inches or the feet or the kilometers, it's still going to be somewhere in the key? Yes? Give me a thumbs up if you see that. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Okay? There are a couple that are kind of in the middle. Everybody should be looking up front. So you have the scale written, and then somewhere else in the key, it says what the distance is. So this one would be specifically kilometers. Okay? Does that make sense? If you look at this one, our scale is right here, and our interval is going to be here. So it's going to be feet. So you can either do that, or you could write it like I did. So it'd be 12 inches is 100 feet. The second way that you can write it is going to be as a fraction, 12 over 100. Again, you would have to, if you're going to write it like this, you'd have to specify that you're talking about inches and feet. Otherwise, you could do exactly like this. So it says inches and feet. So what I want you to do now is think about your map. The map that you made this morning. Some of you mapped out the whole playground. Some of you mapped out more than just the playground. And some of you mapped out like the slide. You are going to quickly write a scale that has to do with your map. So your map should really be no larger than 12 inches, because that's how big your paper is. And depending on what your playground is, it can range anywhere from, if you just did the slide, it would be probably 10 feet, to if you did the whole playground, the whole soccer field, the whole kickball diamond, 500 feet. So what I want you to do right now is to write your scale. We'll just go around the room to a couple people and see if you are accurate, or close to accurate. I'll give you a minute. You can walk around and kind of look at people as they go. Got about 30 more seconds. Remember, you can pretty much just fill in the blanks that I wrote over here. So it'd be blank inches is blank feet. First one would be your map. The second one would be real life. And as soon as you're ready, raise your hand and we can start talking just about a couple of them. You can just write them. Alright, Eli, give me your example. 12 inches to 500 feet. So I'm going to guess, and I'm going to do this with each one so you can confirm that your scale is correct. I'm going to guess that you have your 12 inches on paper, and you drew something that was probably pretty much everything that's outside. Okay, so you're close to accurate. Yes? 12 inches in 1,000 feet. So did you go outside of the fences? Okay, so you did everything over there, and the playground. So I can see you'd be pretty close. 1,000 is a huge number. That's like 3 football fields. So you might be a little large, but it's possible. Ted.
1/600 because I went a little bit outside the boundaries. I added Charles Street.
So you did
Laughlin
1
Avenue.
to 600?
Yeah.
So feet, so you're both
Yeah.
feet. Okay? So 1 foot is the equivalent to 600 feet, and that sounds accurate because you went slightly outside. Last one, Erica. 6 inches to 100 feet. So that means that you did, on half of your paper, you have pretty much the whole playground. Okay. So you see how this is going to help communicate to me the size comparisons? Is it making sense to you? Give me a thumbs up. If it's not, give me a thumbs down. Okay, I see some people in the middle. When I communicated back what you communicated to me, it showed that I understood what you were saying. Okay, the last thing that we're really quickly going to touch on are large scale versus small scale. Just a couple words I want you to correlate. First of all, a large scale would look like two numbers very close to each other. So let's say 1 foot on here equals 1 mile. 1 foot equals 1 mile. That means that my chart, or my map, is going to have a very large scale. It's going to show large items. So an example would be the Carroll College campus map. Okay, it's very specific. You can see all the buildings. You can even see some trees on there. Conversely, small scale, which is going to be a very small number compared to a very large number. So 1 in 15,000, or earlier 1 in 2 million. That's going to be more like this. It's going to be a small map where everything on the map is small. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So small scale equals small items. Large scale equals large items. We're good?
Yep.
All right. You're good, Spencer.